Bayern Munich took on PSG for the second leg of the Champions League semi-finals. The Bavarians were looking to make it to the Champions League final for the first time in 5 years. Standing in their way was PSG, who were looking to make a back-to-back return to the Champions League final, and it wasn't to be for the Bavarians. Let's talk about it. And welcome to Beyond the 90. My name is Aben, and we'll be going into the game between PSG and Bayern Munich today. Before we go into the breakdown, here are a couple of stats I would like to touch on, and then we proceed. So, after the game, Bayern Munich had possession of 66% as compared to PSG's 34%. Bayern Munich had 18 shots with 6 of them on target as compared to PSG's 15 and 7 on target. There were 12 off target from Bayern Munich and 8 on target, so PSG were pretty accurate on the shots as compared to Bayern Munich. Both teams had 3 cards apiece. Bayern had 1 corner kick as compared to PSG's 8. There were 11 fouls from Bayern and 12 from PSG. There was just 1 offside committed in the game, and this was committed by Bayern Munich. The XG for Bayern was 2.10, and for PSG it was 1.61. I must say, the XG part is pretty suspect for me because I think PSG had the more dangerous chances. Anyways, on to other stats. Paris Saint-Germain have become the first French team to reach 3 different European Cup or UEFA Champions League finals. And there were just 2 goals scored from 33 shots between Bayern and PSG tonight, with a conversion rate of 6%. Wow, that's abysmal. After the first leg saw 9 goals scored from an attempt of 22, with a conversion rate of 41%. Now, I don't know how much of this is goalkeeping excellence or profligacy from the strikers. PSG's 44 goals in the 2025-2026 seasons are the outright second most goals scored by a single team in a single edition of the Champions League, behind FC Barcelona's in the 1999 and 2000 season, and they had 45 that season. Harry Kane has become only the second player in Champions League history to score in 6 consecutive knockout stage appearances, after Cristiano Ronaldo first did this in April 2012 to April 2013. And finally, the assist from Kvaratskhelia made him the first player in Champions League history to either score or assist in 7 consecutive knockout stage games in the same campaign. The only players to do so in 6 games in a row are Kaká in the 2006 and 2007 season for AC Milan, Edin Dzeko in the 2017 and 2018 season for Roma, and Ousmane Dembele in the 2024 and 2025 season for PSG. Now, I must say, that first goal, or the goal scored by PSG, is a thing of beauty. If you get the opportunity, watch that goal again. The build up is just scintillating and mesmerizing. Now, let's get into the game. So, here are the lineups for both teams. Bayern started with Manuel Neuer in post, with a back 4 of Stanisic, Jonathan Tah, Dayo Upamecano, Konrad Laimer, with a midfield of Pavlovic, Joshua Kimmich, Jamal Musiala, and a front 3 of Luis Diaz, Harry Kane, and Olise. PSG, on the other hand, started in post with Sofanov, and a back 4 of Zaire Emery replacing the injured Hakimi. Marquinhos, Pacho, Nuno Mendes completes the back line, with a midfield 3 of Fabian Ruiz, Vitinha, and Joao Neves, and a front three of Desiree Doué, Ousmane Dembele, and Kvicha Kvaratskhelia. Here are the ratings of the players as well, as you can see on the screen. For me, I'm not going to touch on everybody's rating. I'm just going to talk about the 3 players that impressed me on both teams. But before I do so, there's a teeny tiny bit of controversy that happened in the game that I would like to address, which is the handball situation with Joao Neves. Now, I know that these days handballs have become something nobody knows what they are. But in the specific case of Joao Neves in this game, I think the referee was spot on. If you read the IFAB rules concerning handball situations, this is clearly not a handball. And this is what the rule says. What is not a handball offense in football or soccer? A handball offense is not committed when a player is hit on the hand or arm by the ball which has been played by a teammate, unless the ball goes directly into the opponent's goal or the player scores immediately afterwards, in which case a direct free kick is awarded to the other team. So what this ruling, or what this rule according to IFAB is espousing, is that if a ball is struck by a player and the ball hits the hand of a player on the same team, it's not a handball. And so in this situation, I agree with the referee's ruling. I mean, I don't see how Joao Neves had an advantage by being struck on the arm by the ball, or I don't see how PSG gained an advantage by the ball hitting Joao Neves' hand. So to me, that's clearly not a handball. But in today's game, we don't know what a handball is anymore. So I don't blame the Bayern players on the pitch who were like livid with that decision. And then also is the other decision of Nuno Mendes getting the ball struck on his arm in that first half, having received the yellow card. Now, if you look at the replay clearly, you would realize that the ball struck Konrad Laimer on the hands first before it struck Nuno Mendes' hands. And so the referee was spot on for not awarding a penalty in that situation. With that out of the way, let's get into the game proper. One thing I learned from today's game, or what I noticed from today's game, is that PSG are an attacking delight, which is something everybody knows. But they showed us another part of them, which is that they can be a gritty team. They showed so much grit in today's game, and they did what had to be done. You know, today's game was played in a quite different fashion as compared to the first leg. And that was down to PSG. They got the first goal and then they controlled the game. Now, the possession stats would edge it to Bayern Munich and will give them a lion's share of the possession. But it was possession without end product. And so PSG were not really under any threat, even though Bayern had most of the balls. On the contrary, anytime PSG had the ball, it looked like something was about to happen. You know, I cannot count the number of times Neuer had to make saves from either a shot by Kvaratskhelia or Desiree Doué. He was the busiest of the two goalkeepers. So if you ask me, I think PSG controlled the game even with less possession, which is pretty impressive for a team that plays blockbuster football, that's on the attack every time, that is looking to score more goals. The realization and the maturity to understand that all they need to do is to qualify. It's impressive for me. Like I give them a lot of credit for understanding the occasion and suiting their game style to make sure that they make it into the final. I would like to talk about my standout players on both sides. Now, for me, on Bayern Munich side, I think, but for his end product, Luis Diaz for me was the standout man. Even though he didn't have any end product, he had the beating of his man anytime he had the ball, but it was just lacking that final touch. Manuel Neuer in post as well made some incredible saves that kept Bayern in the game for a very, very long time. On PSG's side, I mean, it's either of Kvaratskhelia for me, Doué, or Pacho. Now I know other people will have other candidates as well, but for my money, these were the three guys for me, because anytime Doué had the ball, he just had you on the edge of your seat because he was mesmerizing with his dribbling. He was intelligent with his movement. Anytime he had the ball, in some cases there were 3 players, there were 2 players, there were 4 players he had to take on, but he still had the ball stuck to his leg like a glue, and he managed to get his shots away. On the 68th minute, he displayed an incredible skill on the touchline by Bayern's goal to go past 2 players, and the ball was stuck to his feet. That was impressive for me. Anytime he carried the ball forward, even though he seemed to have a small frame, he couldn't be bodied off the ball. And for me, he gave his team a lot of breathing space with his ball carries. Same can be said for Kvaratskhelia. He had some scintillating turns, some bumps down the line, taking his man on. That assist to Dembele was a thing of beauty. Some of the shots he forced Neuer into making, holding the ball, drawing some fouls, that was impressive to watch. And Pacho in defense as well. I think Pacho had a great game. He had a really, really, really great game. He broke the game up several times. When Bayern looked to be on the break, he was the man to stop the play, and he watched Hurricane all game, made sure he had no sniff on the ball. He didn't give him a kick until the dying embers of the other time when Hurricane scored that goal to tie the game. But it didn't take Bayern into the final. So for me, on that regard, I think Pacho did a great effort today, and either of them could be my man of the match. I know in the end it was awarded to Kvaratskhelia, but if it was awarded to Doué or to Pacho, I think it would have been in the right direction. I'll talk about the managers at this point. For me, I think Kompany set his team up well. I don't see anything wrong with his lineup. My only challenge with Vincent Kompany today was his substitutions. I can't for the life of me understand how you are chasing a game and your first 2 substitutions are defenders. I don't know what that was meant to achieve. And on the side, a side note, by the way, Alphonso Davies looks to have lost a yard or 2 of pace for me in my eyes. I don't know if it's because he's coming from injury or it's just where his game is at the moment, but I wasn't too impressed with his cameo in the game. Back to Vincent Kompany. I think he waited for too long to introduce any attacking threat into the game. Like, he had to wait for 78 minutes to introduce his first attacking player from the bench. And the second attacking player from the bench had to take up to the 80th or 81st minute, 84th minute for him to introduce Carl. For a team that was chasing the game, I would have thought that after the first half, he would have, called the shot and introduced his first man, his first attacking player into the game. And so I think to that end, he sat on his hands way too long. For Luis Enrique, I have nothing but praises. I have nothing but good words for him. He's done an amazing job. He's taken this PSG team from a team that was teetering on the brink, a team that looked like they were never going to win the Champions League, to genuinely the best team in the world right now. If you ask me for my money, PSG is the best team in the world right now. And that's all thanks to Luis Enrique. I think he's more than paid his debt back to PSG for that painful heartbreak he caused them in the 2016-2017 season with that incredible comeback victory with Barcelona over PSG, that 6-1 miracle of Camp Nou. I think Luis Enrique has more than paid back that debt he owed PSG. He's taken the team to another level. He's made PSG an attractive club. I mean, they've always been an attractive club financially, but now I think PSG have become genuinely a team players would look to go to if they wanted to win trophies or if they wanted to be competitive. And that's all thanks to Luis Enrique. I like the way they play. I like the way his team is fearless, very, very young. I like the way they are dynamic on the pitch. I like how he's been able to cause his players to buy into his idea. This was a team that 3 or 4 years ago, I don't think anybody would have imagined them winning the Champions League, much less returning to the final for the second consecutive year. That's impressive for me. One final thing I would like to touch on before I drop off this video is the attacking threat of both teams. Last week was a game of all attack from both ends. Like anytime someone had the ball, it was just 90 miles an hour. They were just going, and that's how come we ended up with a 9-goal thriller. Today's game, for me, I think PSG's attackers still offered a lot, even though there was just 1 goal from them. Bayern's attack looked a bit more disjointed to me. It was like they kind of lacked ideas of what to do once they were in and around the box of PSG. Now, I don't know if that is down to the brilliance of PSG defensively or it's just Bayern Munich that lacked ideas, which is surprising for me considering that they were the home team. Olise had his moments here and there, but nothing worthy of note apart from that 1 ball he curled that wasn't troubling the goalkeeper. Musiala was generally quiet in the game. He gave the ball away several times. He had that 1 dazzling run through the middle and he got a shot away, but it got saved by the goalkeeper. And Harry Kane, apart from the goal he scored, half them puffed and produced nothing. And so I am pretty disappointed with Kompany's lack of substitution. I mean, maybe it's down to Serge Gnabry being injured. But then I still think because they needed 2 goals at halftime, I would have introduced my first card on the table to try to win the game early instead of waiting until the last minute to get desperate. Anyhow, PSG has made it to the final. Congratulations to them. I really, really envy them. I wish my team was like PSG, even though I really, really enjoy the way my team plays as well. But PSG is the finished article. They are an all-round team, and it's not far-fetched for them to win the Champions League this year as well. And for my money, I don't see anybody knocking them off their perch just yet. I think they have what it takes to go again next season. Let me not get ahead of myself. They still have a final to play. Let's see how that goes. Anyway, don't forget to like this video, comment, subscribe, and like I said earlier on, if you're feeling up to it, share the video to someone. Catch you some other time. Cheers.